Good evening, Roger Pascal here with Real Impact. We are on our weekly call today. It's exciting. We have lots of stuff going on right now. We've started a new year. It's extremely exciting to see what is going on and all the different areas that we're involved in and deals that are being made. People are waking up. They are figuring out what to do. The Supreme Court has ruled that the local and the state governments cannot prevent any foreclosures or any evictions. So we'll see how that goes along as we go through. I think that takes an effect later this month. But there's lots of deals out there. We're seeing deals come across pretty much every day. And some of them are just absolutely crazy and great. One of the questions we had this week is how do we sell ourselves? And when we're doing a deal, possibly a subject to deal, but how do we sell ourselves with doing that deal? In other words, when we go in and we talk to somebody and we're working the numbers and they don't have a lot of equity, but they still may have enough or barely enough equity to sell with a realtor, but what we have to offer is something above and beyond that. So say for instance, they're wanting to sell their house. They don't have a lot of equity in their house. Maybe they refinanced it somewhat recently. The interest rates are pretty good. And, how do we sell ourselves on that house? How do we sell ourselves as investors? Well, one thing that we do, and this also comes from being a realtor, working with realtors, is if they list with a realtor, it's going to cost them whatever the realtor fees are. Let's say 6%. That's kind of a common percentage there. They have some title company fees they have to deal with. They have, if they're working with a buyer and the buyer is being financed, the buyer needs to, or the seller may have to have some charges there. It happens with VAs and some FHAs. They may ask the seller to contribute towards the buyer's closing. So when you're talking to somebody, those are the numbers that you really want to bring up and you really want to talk about, because say for instance, they're trying to sell their house. They're going to probably wind up 8 or 9% or even more if they have to pay for the buyer's closing cost. But at least 8 or 9% of their sales price is going to go to other expenses that if you're taking this on as a subject to, it's not going to be anywhere near that. And it's all about negotiations. But the title fees are very inexpensive. You've got a title policy that in most cases is paid for by the buyer. You have title company fees, which are very inexpensive. So you're talking about maybe a couple of grand versus it could be 10 or 15,000 or even more, depending on the price of the home. If the house is $200,000 and they're paying 6% in realtor commissions, that's $12,000 right there. So just that expense goes up pretty quick. And then as we do it on a subject to, we normally take the house as is. We're not nitpicking. We want it to be nice. We want our expenses to be low. We don't want to have to do any repairs that don't need to be done. And all that has to be taken into effect. But that's the question that we had this week from somebody is, how do I sell myself on the subject to? And you go in and say, you know what? You have some equity in here, but you don't have a lot of equity, but you're going to eat all that equity up when you list in the MLS. And then you may be out there, you get a contract. The buyer is going to have to wait for their financing to go through. You may have to be waiting on a survey. You may have to be waiting on an appraisal. Right now, appraisals, some of them are running out 6 or 7 weeks out just to get the appraisal, where on a subject to, you don't need that because you already know the house is valued at what it was financed for. So, So those are the things you have to take into effect. They've got one or two more payments, mortgage payments. They've got in there. They're going to have insurance for another month or two. They're going to have property taxes for another month or two, and they're having to wait. So if they're in a hurry and they really want to get rid of the property and they don't want to go through those expenses, that's where we come in. That's where you come in as an investor to offer them, you know what, we can do this, and we're going to immediately save you, thousands of dollars in expenses, because we don't have to go through that. We're not going to have to go through waiting 6 weeks, 8 weeks to get these other third-party documents that we don't really require. We don't require that as picking up as a subject too. So I wanted to say that just right out off the bat, and put that out there, so we are on board with having you know what you're going to need to say, what you're bringing to as a solution to their situation, to their problem. So with that said, we have an exciting night tonight. I've been talking a lot this last week about goals, and really, really want everybody on this call, to really take into effect that you need to be working on your goals. You need to have that in place. You need to have a purpose and a reason and a way to measure, and all those things that you're out there. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Don't let anybody talk you out of ever doing anything. That's real common in any part of business and any part of life. Oh, you can never be a football player because you're not big enough. Well, there's some smaller guys out there that play football, and there's some people that are involved in football that can never be a great player, but they can be a good coach or a great coach. They can be a behind the scenes. They could be in the marketing end of it. They could, all the different aspects of it. So set your goals. Don't let anybody talk you out of anything. And with that said and done, I would like to bring on Tony Jardu. Tony is our guy. He is our guy for Arlington and Waco. And oh my gosh, this guy has so much information. It's just pushed all the hair right out of his head. He's so full of information. So there you go, Tony. So what do you got for us today?
That is quite the lead in. Most people just say I'm just full of it. So I appreciate the hair comment. Well, Roger, first off, I'd like to say that I want to introduce Real Impact to a bunch of new people who I think are joining our call tonight. And as Roger said, my name is Tony Jardu. My wife, Cindy, and I are the owners and hosts of Impact Arlington and Impact Waco. And for those of you who are new to this call, at Real Impact Training Systems, we improve the quality of people's lives through real estate investing. Roger, as you just met, is the host of these Sunday calls. He's also the CEO of Real Impact Training Systems. And one of our primary objectives each Sunday night is to provide you, our listeners, with an opportunity to ask questions about real estate investing. No need to wait for the work week to start. Just type your questions in the chat box and we'll get to them before the call is over. And Roger, if you look over, I think you'll see there's a number of questions already lined up in the chat box. So we'll get to those before the call is over tonight. In addition to these Sunday calls through several locations in Texas and now one in Oklahoma City, Real Impact provides local real estate investors with networking and educational meetings. Our locations are owned and operated by seasoned investors who we call Impact Master Trainers. You'll hear the acronym IMTs, Impact Master Trainers. In addition to monthly meetings and workshops, our IMTs also offer a variety of one-on-one mentoring programs that can help you no matter where you are on your personal real estate journey. So if you're interested in learning more about our training options, please reach out to one of our IMTs. You can find the IMT locations and contact information online at realimpacttraining.com. Just click on the locations button in the middle of that screen. So, Roger, my tip of the week this week. Well, last week, I provided information on the 7 secrets of success in real estate investing. It's great to memorize those 7, but just like any helpful list of items, the only way they will work for you is for you to implement them. So I thought tonight I'm going to share an example of one of our investments and how we incorporated the 7 secrets to achieve success. As a reminder, the 7 secrets of success are: 1, get your mind right; 2, seek wisdom; 3, develop skills; 4, make detailed plans; 5, take massive action; 6, form great alliances; and 7, be persistent. So with that, I'll tell you, in January 2019, my wife Cindy and I, we purchased a single family house in Fort Worth for $60,000. I'm going to shoot some numbers at you too. So we purchased it for $60,000. It needed $25,000 worth of repairs. It was part of a package of 7 properties we purchased. We used a loan from a bank and a private money lender to purchase and rehab the property. We had no money of our own in the deal. Once repairs were completed, we started renting the property. Net rental cash flow was $400 per month. So after all expenses on a monthly basis and our debt service on the loans we had, we still were clearing $400 a month. That's unusual for us. We typically are around $200, $250 a month. So this was a great cash flowing property. In April 2020, so about 15 months after we purchased, we refinanced the debt with a new bank loan of $90,400. So going back, we bought it for $60,000, put $25,000 in for repairs. Again, none of our own money. 15 months later, we refinanced it. This is called the Burr method. We refinanced it for $90,400. So we took a little bit of cash out, which was good because we did have some holding costs before we rented it. So it kind of washed. So at this point, we're at break even on any money that we had to pay, even though we never dipped into our pocket other than for some holding costs. But we're generating $400 a month in rent now, clear of all expenses. In November of 2020, 7 months after we had refied it, we sold the property for $137,673 with owner financing. So we were the bank. We wrapped our mortgage that we had with a second lien. The terms for our owner finance deal was a down payment of $9,000, 9.75% interest, and a 30-year amortization. We generated monthly net cash flow of $500 after we paid our underlying loan. So we improved our monthly cash flow by $100 a month. And we had no responsibility for taxes, insurance, or repairs. The down payment put money in our pocket. About a year later, November 2021, our borrower refinanced the loan and paid us off. And then we paid off our loan. So the asset went away. Let's recap what we made. We had 16 months of rental net cash flow of $400. The math there is $6,400. We had 12 months of owner finance net cash flow of $500. That's $6,000 in total. We made a down payment of $9,000, and the net gain at payoff, that is what the borrower paid us after borrower paid his loan off and we paid our loan off, we made $45,000 on that. All together, when you add that up, the total we made on just one property was $66,400. And I'll remind you, we had none of our own money in that deal. So how did we apply those 7 secrets? Well, it went like this. At the beginning of 2019, when we bought that house, we had been investing for 20 months. And we had clarity with the direction we wanted to go with our real estate business, AKA, also known as, number 1, getting your mind right. We had the wherewithal to make all those separate transactions happen because of, number 2, wisdom. We had previously sought out real estate education and applied it. We found the property and the money to purchase it because we had already developed the skills, number 3, which are necessary to find good deals and find money. Number 4, make detailed plans. Our plan for 2019 was heavily focused on investing in Waco, and we targeted specific asset types and specific sellers. The $60,000 house was part of a package of 7 properties we purchased that day. In fact, in the first quarter of 2019, we bought 20 properties. Hopefully, by most standards, that would qualify for secret number 5, take massive action. Number 6 is form great alliances. None of those individual transactions involved, from the time we bought the property to getting paid out, none of those would have been possible without the partners and team members who helped along the way, forming great alliances. And when we refinanced our loan in April 2020, we were able to do that because we had started to establish a really nice lending relationship with that bank. Coincidentally, the name of that bank, that lender, was Alliance Bank, former great alliances. And finally, number 7, be persistent. 2018 was a challenge for me personally because I had to take care of my sick mother in New York, and it required me to travel there 4 to 5 times in 2018. But we kept pursuing deals and making offers, and it paid off for us. But the reality is, sometimes it's hard to stay focused on your real estate business with those types of disruptions. It was difficult. And you know what that's called? Life. We all have challenges in our lives. Challenges that make it seem like our real estate business is on a roller coaster. You get a little momentum, then life happens. Well, sticking with the principles of the 7 secrets of success, in particular, being persistent, despite those ups and downs, will lead you to success. And once again, as I mentioned last week, the credit for those 7 secrets goes to Dennis Henson, who is the president and co-founder of Real Impact Training Systems. And when you follow through on those steps, it will be difficult for you to not hit your goals. You got this. And Roger, that's my tip of the week.
Wow, that is just, yeah, that's powerful information. Now that goes on in that, I mean, that is just incredible. But Matthew on here has a question because he was listening to you talk about your deal that you did owner financing in. He's asking, why is the interest so high on owner finance? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, when you're borrowing your own money. So can you kind of answer that for Matthew?
Sure. So Matthew, thanks for the question and appreciate that you're on tonight. Why is the interest so high on owner financing when you're borrowing your own money? Well, here's the thing. I'm taking all the risk with that borrower. We're not a bank. We're not going to put that borrower through the same stringent standards, underwriting standards. Now, we do get the property underwritten. We use a residential mortgage loan originator to stay compliant with the mortgage regulations. And the particular RMLO, residential mortgage loan originator we use is Texas Pride Lending. And so we take on the risk as the lender. Now, we have to make money on this if we're going to take all that risk. And so we charge a higher interest rate. Sometimes I charge 9, sometimes I charge 9.5, depends on the individual. But if they were a better credit risk, they could go to a bank or a more conventional mortgage lender and get a much lower rate. It's an oddity with the finance world. It certainly is strange. I was in banking for 38 years. I get this. You've got someone who has trouble with debt payments. So we charge them, whether you're a bank or you're a private money lender, we charge them, they have bad credit. So we charge them a higher interest rate, which means we're going to make them pay even more. It is a strange part of the whole finance world, but the reality is this: they get hit with a risk premium on an interest rate. That risk premium is because of their bad credit. If they had better credit, they could get a lower interest rate. And so that's partly why we charge a higher interest rate. One is we have to cover our spread between what we pay our lender and what they are going to pay us. So I hope that helps. That is the answer. You may not like the answer, but that is the answer.
Very good. Very good. That is, oh my gosh, that's perfect. And the easiest answer is, the guy that from the 1930s or whatever, they asked, why does he rob banks? He says, that's where the money's at. Why do we charge interest the way we do? Is because people will pay it. And it's not taking advantage of anybody. It's literally, as you said, we're taking all the risk.
Yeah.
And that's how that's done. So, great segue into everything that we have tonight, Tony. So,
Roger,
yes, sir.
Let me point out, Matthew has a follow-up question.
Oh, great.
Bank loan versus private money, which is best?
There you go.
That's a really good question, Matthew. Personally, I use both. Now, here's the situation. When you borrow from a bank, more than likely, if you qualify and you can borrow under your own name, you're going to get a better rate. You're going to get a longer term amortization. What does that mean to you? It means you will enjoy better cash flow if you're going to hold that property as a rental. And let's assume you're going to hold it as a rental first off. So you're going to hold it as a rental. And so when you hold it as a rental, you want debt payments that are going to be low so you can enjoy more cash flow every month. Now, why would you use private money? You can get the deal done a lot faster. My private money lender, I have one primary private money lender and some backup private money lenders. My primary can lend me money in 2 days, and he has done that. Private money, especially if you establish a track record, you can get a lower rate than normal with private money lenders. But let's say that you're going to pay 10% interest. Wow. And 2 points just to acquire a property. You bake that financing cost into your financial analysis of the deal. So you're going to cover it in the deal. And the intent behind private money is typically short term. So you're going to use private money short term. You rehab your property, you rent it, and then you go get it refinanced with a longer term lender at better rates. That's typically how private money is used. It is used in conjunction with the investment strategy called BRRRR, buy, so B, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, at the fifth R, repeat, the BRRRR method.
Very good. Very good. Perfect. All right. Well, Tony, you've got a couple of 3 meetings coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Do. Yeah.
So tell us what you got coming.
Sure. Okay. On Wednesday, January 19th, Roger, we're going to have our next meeting with Impact Waco. And the topic for that meeting will be systems and tools for your real estate investing business. So we're going to take a deep dive into the tools and systems that you can use to be very effective and efficient in your real estate business. That's January 19th, Wednesday. We start at 6 p.m. with networking, and it's going to be held at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Waco at 5701 Legend Lake Parkway. The next night, Impact Arlington, we're going to have the same topic, systems and tools for your real estate investing business. Thursday, January 20th. We start there at 6:30 with networking. And the location is Texas Gulf Center, 8940 Creek Run Road in Fort Worth. Both meetings are free. We provide food, great networking opportunities. We start the meeting promptly, and we also do door prizes. And if you bring 2 or more people, you get entered into a special drawing, special prize. So feel free to join us either of those nights. Then on January 29th, Saturday morning, special workshop. We're calling it Don't Lose the Deal. Learn how to analyze deals and make offers for an awesome 2022. Networking starts at 9, half hour of networking. 9:30 will start, 9:30 to noon. We're going to take 2.5 hours. Texas Gulf Center, 8940 Creek Run Road, 2.5 hours, talk about analyzing deals. We are going to dive deep. We're going to take a look at actual deals. I'm going to share with you some of the templates I use on how to analyze and make offers, not just cash offers. So we're going to spent time there, making sure everybody walks out of there feeling comfortable with how to value properties, how to analyze them, how to put offers together, and create yourself a very profitable 2022. So those are the 3 meetings we have coming up, Roger.
All right. That's great. So I look forward to all 3 of those meetings. It doesn't matter if you're new in this business or if you've been in this business for 25 years. That's information that we all learn, that we can all pick up at these meetings. So Tony, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing the 7 secrets and all the detail in there, answering Matthew's couple of questions that he had on there. So thank you so much. And we'll have you on back at the end of the call here, but thank you so much for being on here tonight. Right now, we'd like to bring up Dennis Henson. He has he is back from having a terrible head cold, if you want to call it that. So Dennis, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Roger, and I'm glad to be back. I've been working on a project, and we just got it finished today, and I wanted to share with everybody on the call. It's a new website, and it's called realimpactevents.com. So if you go to realimpactevents.com, what you'll find right now is everything about the Pete Fortunato event that we have coming up in March. We'll get Tony's workshop put up on there next week. We just got it up today. I'm really excited about it. It looks really good. And so throughout the year, we have special events that are not just meetings, but we have getaways. Last year we had a train trip. Well, anyway, we have a number of things that are fun for real estate investors, but they have a lot of training and mastermind included. And so we wanted to have a place so that you could go and check those out. So that's my announcement for tonight. And I'm really glad to be back. Roger, you're doing a wonderful job. And Tony always does such a great job on that tip. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, well, you lit the fire. I mean, you gave them the 7 secrets. So that's, and that one thing about Dennis, if anybody's on this call is not familiar with Dennis, Dennis is a master at taking complicated things and turning them into easy to follow, easy to work with, easy to learn the whole situation, and it's so great to be able to work with Dennis when we come to Dennis, any of us come to Dennis, and we have a complicated, issue or a complicated subject. He's just like, well, have you thought about this? And pardon me, but it is so, we're so blessed that we can take these things that we think, oh my gosh, this is hard. And Dennis says, well, that's not hard at all. Have you thought about doing this? Have you done this? And Dennis, it's great to work with you. It's great to have you where you have that mindset in your mind as far as let's always make it very easy to retain. And he's got some stories out there that just makes sense. He'll give an example of something, and it's just like, oh yeah, I was overcomplicating it. I was making it really hard to figure out. So thank you so much for that. We had a question here, Dennis. I would like you to answer, and okay. I need to find it. It went down through the chat here. Here it's Jessica. Jessica's asking, what is a good timeline to get a property assigned? 30 or 60 or 90 days or something further out than that?
Well, okay. You're going to, is she talking about how soon she's going to be able to close on it for the sale, or what? I don't understand.
I assume that she's looking at putting it out there to get it under contract and then assigning it to somebody else.
Well, you should. Okay.
How long do you do you take to get? How long do you put that contract under for?
Okay. First of all, you need to have a great list of buyers in place so that you immediately can assign the contract. And the second thing is you need to sell it as fast as you can, because I was telling my partner in business the other day, he said, well, this deal fell through and it was a big deal. We were making an awful lot of money. And he looked at me and he said, well, aren't you disappointed? And I said, no, I didn't ever think it was going to work anyway. The only time I think a deal's going to work is when I have the check cleared. So I'm never disappointed. But on an assignment, as anything else in business, if you're doing a deal, you want to get the deal closed. So if you can assign it for 5 days, that would be ideal, or even tomorrow. The faster you can get it closed, the better. If somebody wants you to wait 60 or 90 days, there's something wrong. They don't have their money together. That you can probably find someone else on your list and sell it a lot faster. And I hope that answers your question. But if not, just put something in chat, clarify, and we'll be happy to answer that.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much, Dennis. Yeah, it's whatever you can get, whatever you need to get. But, we both have seen things fall apart the day of closing, and it just doesn't happen. So thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate that. And good deal. Good deal. So next I'd like to bring on Pam. Pam Clary is our is the rehab queen, as we always call her. And she is Decatur Alliance area and beyond. But Pam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How is everybody else out there? Sorry, I was reading a question in the chat. Apologize.
All right.
For that. So,
well, with that, is there a question there that somebody has, or?
It looks like David asked, what do you do if you can't find the heirs to a property? You go hire Martin Garcia with simplified title. So
it's not you looking for them, right? It's hiring the right people that know what they're doing to get that done, right?
So all joking aside, and one of my friends has this problem going on right now. So I understand that you have someone that's never been married, no kids, they have a house, and where does it go? So here's going to be my answer for you, is if there was never, and I'm assuming there's no will. Okay. So if there's no will, because first of all, if there's a will, then someone is inheriting that property. But if there's not a will and there's no family members involved, they are the only child and the only surviving whatever, I would say that you need to go back. Number one, see if there's a mortgage on the property. And if there is, contact the bank and let them know that you're interested in purchasing the property. Number two, go look up the deed of trust, see who is the trustee on that deed, because sooner or later that property is going to go for sale. Either on if there's a mortgage on it, it's going to go to foreclosure. If it's property taxes, it's going to go on the property tax lien. Now, all those companies, the mortgage company and the share sale, they have to do their research just like what you do. They can't just go close on it because nothing's been paid on it. They have to go through the right channels and make sure there's no heirs to this property. So it's going to take some time. And I really wasn't joking about when I said hire a real estate attorney. We have some great title companies out there that deal with this, know how to deal with. I know there's Kane's Title, Diverse Title, Simplified Title. Those are the top three off the top of my head. I know Martin Garcia deals with probate. He has dealt with this problem before, and it's all about whether or not that that title company wants to take the risk to underwrite that property. So hopefully I answered the question as best as I could without knowing all the information, but those are the steps that you need to take. You need to make sure no will, nobody is around to inherit the property, and then go to the trustee, to the bank. If there's a mortgage on it, look at the deed, and even contact the tax office and find out what they're going to do. There's my answer.
Very good. Very good. Hey, Matthew has a question down here. He's asking for you, Pam, and those of us that have done lots of deals. What's the best day of the month to close on? The first or the last or somewhere in between?
It's not the month, it's the day. We have Pam rules. Pam rules are called, we can close on Monday through Thursday. We do not close on Fridays. And here's the reason why. Mortgage companies and title companies are not opened on Saturdays and Sundays. And so if you don't get everything closed and it's 3 o'clock on, because the magic word is fund. It has to fund in order for you to take possession of that property. And it is 3 o'clock on Friday. The money has not been transferred, and you've got all your money there, and you've got contractors lined up to go to work on Saturday, but you can't because you don't own the property. You do not own the property until it funds. It also depends on whether how much money you're borrowing. When you want that first, payment done. If you're borrowing and closing on the 5th and the 6th of the month, you don't have as many days, free interest as you do at the beginning. So that can have some factors into it. But for me, and we call it Pam rules. All my clients, even when I was doing regular real estate, we had a rule. You close Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or by 8 a.m. Friday morning. And the title companies I closed at, they knew that and was very well aware of that. If it was going to hang around till 3 o'clock, I knew we weren't closing until Monday. And I do not line my contractors up when I know that we're not closing on Friday at 8 a.m.
Very good. That's that's great information. I remember one time we at our office, we had an agent there, and the buyers lived in the parking lot of that real estate office with a pickup truck with the tarp over the back end of it. There are 4 of them. They slept in that pickup truck for a week because because closing didn't happen, because you've got other people in the mix there. You got, you have mortgage companies, you have title companies, you have appraisers, you have others that are out there. So also one of the questions that we had earlier was, why would it take, when we were first talking about this morning, we're talking about the delay that deals are having right now with retail buyers, retail buyers, as far as a person moving into the house to be an owner occupant, appraisers, and
we don't have enough of them.
We don't have enough of them. I think Tim mentioned a couple of weeks ago that the average age for the appraiser is in their 60s, because to be an appraiser, you have to be an apprentice for a couple of years. And a lot of people just can't do that. They can't not work.
I will also tell you this. So I know this up front. You need to know, if you're borrowing money to do a fix and flip, it doesn't matter, whatever it is, a fix and flip, a rental, or whatever. I know my lender's criteria, and it is so important that you know their criteria. Number one is, are they going to require a survey? If they're going to require a survey, the survey companies right now can be somewhere between 10 and 11 weeks behind. If you're that's the reason why it's also important to know your title companies out there. Simplified Title, I have not had an issue with them getting a survey done in 5 days. If one of my lenders required me to use somebody else, I'm not going to mention whatever, our closing was delayed because title companies use certain surveyors so that they know how to underwrite that deal. And I don't think people understand the importance of a survey. It doesn't matter whether you're doing hard money or a regular loan. There are surveys involved. And when issues come up on that survey, it can cause problems. So with my students, I tell them, when you get something under contract, you go to that title company and you first question out of your mouth is, how long is it going to be to get a survey? Or before you take the contract to that title company, ask them, how long is it going to take to get a survey, especially if your loan officer is requiring that. It is so important to be done. Some title companies are still being able to do them within 3 to 5 days. A lot of title companies are using the survey as an excuse to not get it done, or not as an excuse. They just don't have especially with simple fee title companies out there.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. We just had a deal that closed in early December, and we had to close it privately without a survey. And we had to really jump through some hoops on that. Yeah. Because it was supposed to close end of November. We got it closed the 1st of December, but it really hasn't. It's closed, but it hasn't funded because the seller is owner financing the buyer. And we're looking at next week, which is the second week in January, for the survey. And we called over 30 surveyors. The buyer was willing to double their normal price to get that survey done quickly, and could not find one that would even do it. We went out 100 miles for surveyors, and could not get one to close that quick. And Martin's gonna lock you in a freezer if you promise those surveys in 5 days. The reason Pam gets that is because Pam does a lot of business, and it's all about what Tony said a while ago, building your team. And you have that team built, and people will bend over backwards for you. They're you don't need to take advantage of them, but at the same time, when you call and say, I've got a challenge here, and that's where Simplified Title comes in, does a great job. And lots of title companies are great title companies, but not all of them are great title companies. So, but they can be great if you build a relationship.
Yeah. I had a student to ask me this question today, and he asked me, he said, well, how do you know what a great title company is? Because we're looking at, investing out of state and stuff. And I said, it's very important. Number one, when you're talking to that title company, you ask, a question, do y'all, represent investors? How many do you represent? And is there anyone in this office that buys investment properties? I mean, Martin Garcia, they buy investment properties themselves. So that's who you want to deal with. I would like to go back to Matthew's question about the best time of the month to close. You either want to close as close to the beginning of the month or as close to the end of the month. You really do not want to close in the middle of the month.
Well, you do want to close in the middle, right? Or don't?
You do not. I don't.
Okay.
I want to close as close to the beginning, from the 1st through the 5th, or through the 25th through the 31st.
Okay.
It costs, it's interest. It's less free on, if I'm borrowing money and having to pay interest, that interest, I mean, I'm going to get the interest money back, but it's less money out of my pocket to borrow that interest money if I have to do it at the beginning or at the end.
Very good. Good points. Good points. Now, you've got a meeting coming up, don't you?
I do. It's January the 18th. We're going to talk about the 5 M's. It's going to be at the Big Golf Shop. I cannot say it. It's my own meeting. The Big Shot Golf up there by Texas Motor Speedway. It's behind the Tanger Outlet. Networking starts at 6:30. We'll start at 7. And looking forward and excited to have everybody come.
And they've got incredible food.
Yes.
They really do.
For anybody that wants to, we always stick around after the meeting. So you're more than welcome to stay and hang around. for a couple of drinks or some food. But we did last time. We had a great
Yeah, we
conversation.
go down to that restaurant down there,
Mhm.
and which is on the same building. It's just downstairs.
You're right.
But it's a really nice place. Great parking, easy to get to, close to Buc-ee's. If you know where Buc-ee's is off of 35W, right there between, right there at Alliance Speedway, right there by the
Yes.
racetrack. So good deal. We'll look forward to that. What time does your meeting start?
Working starts at 6:30. The meeting starts at 7. Dress is casual.
All right. Good deal. Good deal. Excited. We're going to be there. So, Pam, thank you so much. You got anything else?
Everybody's welcome. Come on.
All right.
Don't
Good
hesitate to ask me any questions.
All right. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you, Pam. So let's go ahead and throw the tunes on here, and Renee and Doug Tune, which are the East Texas. And we caught Doug. He was trying to run out of here. So ain't quite that easy, Doug.
He's on the other computer answering questions that are coming up.
All right. Good deal.
The comment
Good deal.
section.
Well, with that, I noticed that y'all were answering some questions in the chat, but not everybody can see the chat because we have Facebook and we have multiple fingers out there where this event is going to. So, Doug and Renee, can you answer a couple of those? They had John had a great question about foreclosure list, and that is a great segue for this whole thing to go into. So talk to us about where you find lists, because I think y'all are having somebody coming in tomorrow night.
Well, that's right. So we're I've never heard of a title company having a list. I'm not the know-it-all for lists anyway. I do know that title companies will have deals fall through sometimes. You'll have something that won't fund, and they'll be sitting there thinking that they've got this place sold and they've got nothing. And of course, the title company, they want to make their fees, so they would really like for it to close. And so, we always go in, leave our card with the title company and say, hey, now, I know from time to time you have something that doesn't fund. And this is how you say it, we represent a group of investors that have cash and can close quickly. If you have that come up, give me a call.
Right.
I might can close it for you. And, as always, that's just another area that we can pull deals from. So we know that they're closing houses, right? I mean, they are closing houses, so they're going to have some of that. As far as the guy coming tomorrow is Todd Dotson, and he has lists. So if you're looking for lists, this is the best place to be on Monday night.
Absolutely. He's going to be talking about how to attack your market with the latest deals, getting tactics for immediate paydays. Now, I mean, who doesn't want to get paid right away? I mean, I do. And I think all of us that are investing in real estate want to get to the money as quickly as we can. And that is what Todd's going to be talking about. Get in, get out, get paid. He's got a house-to-house system that kind of teaches us how to go on the offensive when we're looking for deals, and some data secrets for sourcing some of the best lists and leads. So this is a great place to be tomorrow night. And we'd love to have all of you come join us. We're going to be at the Big Red Barn in Longview, Texas.
It's going to be a crowd.
There is going to be a crowd. Come early. You're going to need
people confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to need to come early to get a good seat. And the address is 197 Berry Patch Road. And that's, of course, Longview 75603. And
9181 works also.
Yeah, 9181 works.
It's the same thing.
They both work. We had a postal address first, and then they said, you're big enough now and have enough houses on the property. You can have a street name.
We now have three houses on this
Yeah.
this gravel driveway, and they call it a road now. So
And the barn,
all right.
which is great. So there you go. I did want to say one other thing, Roger. You know, as I'm watching all of these people jump on this call tonight on Facebook and on YouTube. I said Facebook, didn't I?
They're on
YouTube.
Facebook.
Okay, Facebook and YouTube. What I'm so excited about is that there's people hungry to get this information. They're hungry with questions. And so I just want to encourage all of you that are watching tonight to take advantage of it. Even if you can't come all the way out to Longview tomorrow, there are meetings happening all over the Texas area. So find out where the closest one is to you. Take advantage, plug in. That's how you learn.
That's right.
Absolutely. And you know, with that, I saw you you answered a while ago, but Janet said, do I need cash of my own to close a property? And I loved your answer, Doug, that you gave her on the private chat a while ago.
I don't know that I remember what I answered.
Your mother
What did I say?
your mother loaned you. Your mother's the one that loaned you.
Mom was my first money person. I paid her 10% right off the top. I mean, it was, of course, you can bless family like that. That's one of the ways that we can do that. And it hurt me a bit. We did that deal with a tax sale with her money, and you know, she had, I guess, close to 30,000, and me paying 10% of that to make 68 was not a big deal to me. So I was excited.
That's it. So yeah, it you know, what we teach with Impact, it really floors a lot of our students, because in most cases, money can be some of the easiest part of this business. If you've got a great deal out there, there's money out there. And now there's multiple ways to get money. It's hard money. It can be private money. It can be bank money. It can be owner financed. All the ways work out there. There's lots of people out there that look at it and say, oh, I can't do investing because I don't have, you know, 6 figures sitting in the bank ready to do this. You don't need that. Get owner finance. Look at
you don't need
Dream.
it. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And you know that kind of segues in a little bit to what Chris asked, how to get real estate financing when you're self-employed or a business owner with less than 2 years of tax returns and no W-2. And private money is one of the ways to do that.
Yeah.
How do you meet private money people? Let me think. Networking at real estate investment meetings.
Yeah.
What a novel
That's
idea.
right.
Well, Aristotle
Absolutely.
Onassis said in an interview that he gave shortly before he passed, the interviewer asked him, tell me what you attribute to your success. And he said that really there was only 3 things that were needed for success. And one was people, and one was good ideas, and the other was money. And he said money's the easiest. Of course, it's easy for him to say. He was one of the richest men in the world at the time, but that's the fact. Ideas are hard. They really are. Yeah. And people sometimes can be difficult. But money is just laying there, ready for, you know, a good idea. And real estate is a good idea.
Absolutely. So yeah, you know, we had Shireen on last week, and she invested $1,000 and got a property, realized that it was a big chunk to take off because it had a lot of repairs to it. She wholesaled that property out to another investor, and she made a lot of money out of that. And she helped the person that had been trying to sell their house for a long time. And she helped the person that wanted to buy an investment house to do a rehab, and whatever their exit strategy is, I don't know, but you know, it could have been a buy and hold. It could have been a rehab to sell retail or whatever, owner finance. But people think you need a lot of money for this business. You don't. You've got to be creative, and you got to think about it. And you got to come up, as you said, with the ideas. How do I make
That's
this
right.
work? So good deal. So you've got Todd tomorrow night. I've seen Todd. I know Todd. He is just a phenomenal speaker. He's got a program of getting lists of anything you can imagine. And I've never seen anybody else out there in this business that can match what he has on his list that he has. So if you are in need of finding properties, this is the guy you need to be at tomorrow night there in Longview, Texas. So I'm telling you that Todd is he's got a program that nobody else has. He's been doing this for probably more than 10 years, I guess, somewhere in there. I know he's been around for a while. And he doesn't have just one list. He's got multiple different types of lists. If you're looking for probate, if you're looking for people that are, just 30 or 60 days behind, that you can't find those lists anywhere. Normally we get those lists and they're already in foreclosure and it's too late. You're going to have to, you can't do a creative finance deal with somebody in foreclosure, and so if you are within 100 miles of Longview, you need to be at that meeting tomorrow night. So, and you have T Blancos, chips and salsa. And,
yes, we do. T
always
Blancos
good.
as usual. Yep.
Always good. So, good deal. We look forward to that. And, do y'all have anything else to throw out there? Anything else in the chat that jumped out at you?
No, mastermind before it at T Blancos. So we're gonna eat at T Blancos and bring back chips. So
okay, what time are you eating there?
We're going to meet at T Blancos at 4:45. And if you want to join us, you need to call me. I will give you a number to reach me at. It's 903-704-0743. I'm going to say that one more time, 903-704-0743. You need to call me an RSVP or text me on that number to join us. Okay.
All right. Good deal. Doug and Renee, thank you so much. Great information. Y'all are the bomb. So thank you so much for coming on here tonight, giving that great information, and look forward to tomorrow night. So everybody on this call, if you're within 100 miles, you need to be at Longview tomorrow night because Todd has the answer that you're looking for. None of this whining around. I can't find any houses. I can't find any sellers. We got the answer for you. Go there and see Todd tomorrow night.
And
so,
he's coming
guys,
with
thank you so
a
much.
specialized list. So it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. So thank you all so much. We appreciate it. And with that, CJ, let's throw Karen on real quick. And hello, Karen.
Hi.
You look like your backdrop looks like a really cheap 1950s sci-fi movie where they put the shower curtain behind the spaceship, So you're standing in front of the window, or you're sitting in front of the window. So, so there you go.
Yes.
There you go. So it just reminds me of some of those B movies that Linda Jean just absolutely loves. So Karen, what's going on?
Oh, well, I'm so excited to see Dennis back. I just went and checked out the site earlier. It's beautiful. It looks great. Super excited about that. And looking forward to lots of meetings coming up. I'll be at Doug and Renee's meeting tomorrow. I'll be at the Mastermind lunch pre-meal at T Blancos. I'm excited about that. And looking forward to hearing what all he has to teach us tomorrow.
All right. Good deal. There was a couple of questions on here that some people jumped on there. I'm looking for, Chris is talking about can I get a commercial loan or private money? My first, I'm sorry. That was what Doug just answered. So let me see here. Did you see anything on here? I'm running through the chat. I think we got most of these.
Oh,
answered.
Matthew's last question. And thanks for chatting with me, Matthew. I've already snagged him on Facebook and friended him and had a little conversation with him, inviting him to tomorrow's meeting because he's in Tyler, it looks like. He's asking what's the good software to use for getting the most up-to-date and accurate information on properties. So I guess it depends on what kind of information we're looking for, right? Matthew, I always go to the CAD, the County Appraisal District, to get information on properties. I think if I remember correctly, you moved here from another state, or maybe that was somebody else. I always go to the County Appraisal District. It's free. Search up the information that I need. And as far as up-to-date and accurate info, I'm not sure if you're maybe talking about the value, like Zillow is not always accurate. So I'm not really sure. Maybe that doesn't answer your question. I'm not really sure. But that's where I get my information from. But most of the time, whenever you buy a list, that kind of stuff's on there. But not sure. And then I wanted to address a question that I saw earlier from John about the pre-foreclosures. Can he get those from a title company? John, I use like Propelio, PropStream. I think they have the same kind of thing. Most list companies that you buy a list from will be able to get you a list of people that are in pre-foreclosure. So that might be a good, if that's your niche that you want to go for, that's one place you can get it, or two places you can get it.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, that's and Matthew's from Idaho.
That's what I thought. That's what I
He's
thought.
from Idaho, but cool. If he's in Texas, welcome to Texas, Matthew. This is a great place for you to be.
Yeah, he said he had just moved to Texas. He was wondering why it takes so long to close. So
there you go. So it's because of third parties out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having the same problems in Idaho. This is something that's really come about really in the last 60 to 90 days. It's getting behind out there where the surveyors and the appraisers and the banks and everybody's shorthanded. Every business you go to. I mean, I bank at Wells Fargo. I went to Wells Fargo last week, and they had the lobby closed. They only had two people in the bank, and they're both working the drive-through. And and I'm like, and I felt so bad for those two young ladies that are working that drive-through because they couldn't even go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But the lobby is locked down because everybody's sick.
Yep.
And if it's not COVID, it's the head cold or the flu or a sore throat or something. So it's that time of year. It's 80 degrees. Then the next day it's 29 degrees, and then it goes up to 80 degrees. And
I was wearing shorts this morning, and now I'm in a jacket and jeans. I mean, it's
there
crazy
you go.
how the
Absolutely.
I mean, it's Texas weather, so Matthew, welcome to Texas.
Absolutely. And Brett Bowling is asking more about your CRM. We don't really have time to go into that because that's a big subject, and it's a great. But let me tell you something. Karen is probably the most well-versed person I know on CRMs, and she's really, really good at it. So that's somebody to reach out to. Brett, just reach out to Karen, and you can
Brent,
connect
there's
with her.
videos on my YouTube. I'm not sure if you're watching on YouTube, but if you go to my YouTube channel, there's videos on there about that, and then we can always talk. You've got my
There
number.
you go. And your information's on the bottom of the screen scrolling right now too.
That's
So
me.
just shoot her an email, reach out to her, call her. She loves those 2 a.m. phone calls, by the way. So
Do not disturb. My phone goes on do not disturb at 9:00.
that's right. So well, good deal. Karen, do you have anything else? I mean, sales and marketing, we got lots of stuff happening right now. We have
so much going on. New locations coming up in Grand Prairie, Granbury. We just got Oklahoma City. They're going to be having their next meeting, I think next Saturday, third Saturday of the month. And
I haven't told you, but I'm meeting a guy in the morning at McKinney. So,
awesome.
So he reached out to us because he's heard about us.
Good.
and
Good.
we're getting the word out there. We're making this thing happen. So I've got a breakfast with him,
Good.
and that's exciting.
Yes,
So,
and we are still expanding. So if
we are.
anyone has a desire to teach others about real estate investing, if you are a successful entrepreneur and you want to do this, get with me or get with Roger, get with anybody on the Real Impact team, and we'll get you set up with a meeting with us and get you brought on board.
Very good. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Karen, for being on here. So we're already at our limit. We try to keep this at an hour, and we're at an hour and 6 minutes. So thank you everybody for being on here. Some great questions tonight. I think we got to most all the questions, if not all of them. And if you have anything else, feel free to reach out to any of us at any location. We have the answers. This is what we do. We are real estate investors. We don't just do training. We actually buy and sell houses. We actually rent houses. We actually know how to do it, know how to do whatever means of investing you're looking at doing. We're very versed in that. This is what we've all done for many, many years. So reach out to us, ask any questions. At the end of this call, stay on. You'll see a scrolling screen of our locations, of where we meet, when we meet. You'll see a map out there. So thank you all for being on here tonight. CJ, if you can throw everybody on there so we can all do the Brady Bunch thing here. And we appreciate everybody. Thank you for being on here tonight. And if you have anything at all, reach out to us. So thank you all. CJ, thank you very much. CJ's in Bolivia. He's making this thing happen halfway around the world, and he'll be flying back later this week. But got to go to the Amazon. He talked to some exciting stories about that. So look forward to hearing more about his trip to the Amazon and all that kind of stuff. So he didn't get eaten by a snake, so that's a good thing. So good deal. Thank you all, everybody being on here tonight. CJ, thank you. Y'all be good. We'll see you at your meetings.
Good night.